Good evening and welcome. My name is Elaine Haney, and I'm the Executive Director of Emerge Vermont. Welcome to our fourth annual Local Candidate Spotlight. Tonight, we will hear from 9 candidates who are running for local office from all over Vermont. We'll also hear from our special guests, former state representative, Emerge trainer, and transformational retreat facilitator Jason Lorber, and class of 22 alum, Secretary of State Sarah Copeland Hanzas. We'd also like to thank our many sponsors for this event, and especially the members of Men for Emerge Vermont, our allies and advocates who support our work of recruiting and training more women to run for office. A lot of people don't think about running for local office, and many don't think local elected officials can make a difference. I have served in local office for many years, and I am currently an Essex Junction City Councilor. And I can tell you from experience that public service can be some of the most impactful work you will ever do in your entire life, especially now. The chaos at the national level, the multiple crises happening statewide, and the general financial instability Vermonters are feeling require trusted, steady leaders willing to do the hard work of supporting their neighbors. And more than ever, it is crucial that we support our communities, be there for our neighbors, and chart our course together. Stepping up to lead in these times sets the example, and the women we'll hear from this evening are committed to doing that work. An ongoing challenge is making sure that the people sitting at the tables of local government who are making decisions that impact our daily lives are as representative of the community as possible. UVM's Center for Research on Vermont reports that only 1/3 of select board members are women. Far fewer members are people of color. When a local governing body does not reflect the demographics of the community, it's not possible to make good decisions that take everyone's lived experience into account. That's why Emerge Vermont works as hard as we do to recruit and train women to run for office. Our goal is to increase women's representation at every level of government in Vermont. Right now, women make up 42% of the Vermont legislature, and 35 of them are Emerge Vermont alums and trainees. We're aiming to substantially increase the number of women on select boards and school boards too. Currently, 30 of our alums are serving on select boards and school boards throughout Vermont right now, some of whom you will meet tonight. Dozens of our alums serve as justices of the peace, and we're going to keep training more and more women to run for office and increase their representation exponentially. From St. Albans to Bennington, the Emerge Vermont alums you'll meet tonight are making a difference in their communities. Some are incumbents, some have run before, and some are first-time candidates. This evening, we'll see and hear from committed, passionate candidates who will inspire you. You'll come away from our time together knowing the power of women's leadership. I'm excited to introduce these candidates to you tonight, and I hope you'll get to know them as they campaign through the next 2 weeks leading up to town meeting day. So let's get started. Emerge Vermont's training cohorts are legendary for the committed, talented women who participate in them, and this year is no exception. Our first group of candidates are all currently training with us right now as members of the class of 2025. Our first candidate is Jackie Matz. She is running as a first-time candidate in a crowded field for a seat on the Bennington Select Board. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you, Elaine. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Matz, and I'm running for the Bennington Select Board. I moved to Bennington nearly 20 years ago, choosing to make this community my home. Since arriving, I've dedicated myself to this community, volunteering my time, supporting my neighbors, and working to make Bennington a better place for everyone. I studied computer science and philosophy, and my career as an IT consultant has given me invaluable insights from working with legal, medical, municipal, educational, and nonprofit organizations. Today, as Director of Technology and a key leader in scaling our company past $10 million in annual revenue, I've learned what it takes to drive real, sustainable growth. Coupled with my board experience, serving as president of Queer Connect and chairing the Municipal Charter Review Committee, I'm ready to bring innovative, effective solutions to the Select Board. Whether planning Pride, evaluating policy, or collaborating with businesses, I've always made it a priority to bring people together and focus on practical solutions. One of the things I'm most proud of is my ability to work across the ideological spectrum, building bridges and achieving meaningful progress without getting sidetracked by personal attacks or rehashing the past. I believe that by uniting our diverse perspectives, we can create a Bennington that is safer, more prosperous, and truly inclusive for everyone. I'm running because I see enormous untapped potential in our town, and have already begun the work that I promised to continue on the Select Board, engaging with community leaders, exploring innovative housing solutions, and nurturing a vibrant local economy. The abandoned Energizer facility presents an opportunity to significantly ease our current housing shortage by adding over 350 units of housing. Establishing a land bank to transfer such properties would be a proactive first step toward engaging the right developers. As many long-standing downtown business owners are looking toward retirement, I will champion policies that encourage young entrepreneurs, and have begun exploring ways to leverage the skills of remote workers who have recently moved here through nurturing a tech economy that complements our established education, healthcare, manufacturing, and tourism industries. Tonight, I sit before you as a leader, ready to hit the ground running. But to continue this momentum, I need your vote and support. Every vote moves us closer to a future where every voice is heard and every neighbor has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you for being here, and let's keep moving forward together.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Best of luck to you in your election. That was awesome. Our next candidate is Christina Gotch. She's a first-time candidate running for a one-year seat on the Milton Select Board. Christina is unable to be with us this evening, but she did send a video for us to see her speech.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Gotch, and I am running for the one-year seat for the Milton School Board.
Elaine, I think the sound went out. I'm not sure why.
To teach them and make sure that they're...
Sounds like folks are having some audio issues.
I think when you unmuted yourself, we could hear it again.
Yep, I'm going to start Christina over. Thank you for pointing that out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Gotch, and I am running for the one-year seat for the Milton School Board. And I just wanted to take a moment and let you know what my focuses are and what I'm going to be doing going into our town meeting day of March 4th. My main focuses are the students, the teachers, and then our taxpayers. My focus really is on the students, making sure that they have a safe environment in which to learn. They have the ability to go into class and have their teachers there to teach them and make sure that they're getting everything that they need from the school district. Next, my focus is our teachers. I've spoken to many teachers, and the need that they have is additional support, resources. We're truly struggling with getting those, and those are some things that I want to be able to bring to the school board on both a student and teacher level. And then lastly, for our taxpayers, I want to make sure that we have a budget that's set up to make our town successful. I want to be able to make sure that, we're not spending out of pocket. We're not costing the taxpayers a lot of extra money, but at the same time, making sure that we understand that cost of living is going up, researching the budgets to see where we can save money going forward into the future. And really, that's my focus, is how can we help and prepare our students, our teachers, and our taxpayers for the future. Thank you so much and have a great night.
Thanks very much, Christina, and best of luck on your election to the Milton School Board. Our next candidate is running for a city council seat in our state's biggest city. Allie Schachter is a candidate for the Burlington City Council representing the East District. Welcome, Allie.
Hi, Elaine. Thanks so much for having me here. And thank you to everyone who's here tonight. This was my attempt at having a branded background. Bear with me. But I'll just take a couple minutes to introduce myself. So I'm Allie Schachter, and as Elaine shared, I'm running for the East District seat in the Burlington City Council. I have 2 kids in 1st and 3rd grade in the public schools here in Burlington at the Sustainability Academy, where I co-chair the PTO. And I also work downtown. I work at the Flynn Theater, and I walk to work every day right through the East District, through wards 1 and 8, which is what the East District spans, and then into the heart of our downtown here in Burlington. Because of this walking every day, I really get the chance to see where we're thriving. There's so much that I love about our city, and also where we have legitimate challenges right now. And there's a lot going on in our city today that I think we are not as livable of a city and as thriving of a city as I think we all hope we would be and can be. I also, prior to joining the Flynn, I spent about a decade working in affordable housing and youth development, and then also several years working with child welfare jurisdictions across the country to build a more family-centered and racially just child welfare system. 4 years ago, I spent much of my childhood up here in Vermont, but then 4 years ago, my husband and I made the really intentional decision to move here to Burlington when our oldest son was starting kindergarten. We couldn't imagine raising our kids anywhere else. We love living here. There's so much we love about Burlington, the neighborliness, the beauty of Lake Champlain, and the magic of strolling Church Street. And there's so much diversity of life experiences and backgrounds here that make us so really feel so honored every day to be living here and raising our family here. But Burlington undoubtedly also has many challenges right now that we're working to address. We have major affordability and housing concerns. We have public safety and community well-being concerns. Similar to what Christina was talking about, we have a major budget gap to fill, and we really need to be thinking about how to be a financially sustainable city. And we have, of course, the climate crisis and everything we're doing here locally to be a more climate resilient city. And the flooding the last several summers has reminded us how critical this work is. And so I'm stepping forward now because I see a real opportunity for us to be coming together and working together in ways that are just extremely important. I don't think we have a minute to spare, especially with everything happening at the federal level. So, coupled with my background, I bring a real willingness to collaborate across the ideological spectrum, no matter one's party affiliation. I'm really committed to building a brighter future for Burlington, a more livable Burlington for everyone. And I do believe that when we find ways to turn towards each other and come together, that we have all the tools we need to conquer the issues in front of us. And so I really hope to be a voice for that. And so if you live in Burlington's East District, I hope to have your support on town meeting day, March 4th. And it's been such a joy to have Emerge as a support through this, for my own first attempt at running for office.
Thank you so much, Allie, and best of luck with your campaign. I know you're fighting a really hard race, and it's a big challenge to run in a community as large as Burlington, so best of luck. So we're going to stay in northwestern Vermont, and we are going to hear from Amanda Headley. Amanda Headley was recently appointed to fill a vacant seat in the St. Albans Town Select Board. Now she's running for the first time to win a full term on that board. Amanda is not able to be with us this evening, but she has sent us a video of her speech. Hang on for 2 seconds.
Hi, everyone. My name's Amanda Headley, and I'm running for the Select Board in St. Albans Town. I love St. Albans, and I'm so glad I moved here 5 years ago. I want to serve my town and leave it in a better place than it was when I found it. The things I want to accomplish are, I want to increase our tax base to keep our taxes low. I want to clean up St. Albans Bay so we can swim in it again. And I want to support the police so that we have a safe community. I've enjoyed door knocking and meeting many of the residents in St. Albans Town. I can't wait to represent my town, and I really hope that I can count on your vote on March 4th.
Thank you, Amanda, and best of luck with your campaign. I'm now really pleased to introduce to you this evening's first guest speaker. Jason Lorber is a former state representative who served his Burlington district from 2005 to 2013. He's the leader of Aplum Consulting and provides executive coaching and transformational retreat facilitation. Jason also has the distinction of being one of Emerge Vermont's most popular trainers, providing outstanding public speaking training that unleashes candidates' voices and helps them deliver compelling messages that win elections. We can't wait for him to come join us next month to share his talents with the class of 2025. Jason is also a wonderful stand-up comedian who has opened for Joan Rivers, and he's currently performing his one-man comedy show, Comedy at the Core, in towns across Vermont. Welcome, Jason, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Elaine, and hi, everyone. It's great to be here, and I want to thank Elaine for coming to my comedy show. And there are still tickets available for this Saturday in Waterbury Center. Before I get going, I want to share a photo. Is Sarah Copeland Hanzas yet on in this call?
She has not joined us yet.
Okay, but she'll see this when we do this later on. So Sarah and I both came into the State House at the same time. We were in the same class, and there was a photo that was snapped of us, and this photo still sits on my piano since 2006. And Elaine, if you could share that photo, you'll also see in this photo my son, who was 7 months old at the time. And now he's 18. So Sarah, when you're watching this, you feeling old now? Yeah, I am too. Okay, so you can take that down. Although it's a fun, you can take a snapshot and you can print it on your own. Okay, so here's a statement. We need people in office who aren't drawn to it. That was a quote from my speaker when I was first elected, Gay Symington. And she talked about how we don't just need people who are seeking the office, and we do need those people, but we also need people who have a voice and have a perspective to share, but they don't particularly want to run for office. And there's also other people who want to run for office, but don't. And we'll talk about them, and maybe that's some of you, a little bit later. But the reason why we need a variety of people, a diversity of people, can I still say that word? I'm going to say it anyway. Because we need different perspectives. We all have different beliefs, we all have different worldviews, and we all have different talents to contribute. I ran for office originally because I wanted to spend less time with my family. Okay, but all kidding aside, the real reason that I've always wanted to serve in public office, and one of the reasons was for marriage equality. Being a gay man, I wanted to legally marry my husband. We were married, but it wasn't legally recognized until much later. And I knew that, but even having said that, I knew when I ran for office with 99% certainty that there would never be marriage equality in my lifetime. And I'm glad I was wrong. In fact, I got to cast the deciding vote on marriage equality in Vermont. because we won by one vote. So everyone who voted for it can say it was me, although my vote was never really in question. When I first got elected, Sarah and myself and the other people in our class, some people use the word freshman, some people use the word first year, which I prefer because it's gender neutral. We all talked about how we got elected, and what we knew was our campaign. We didn't yet know the policy part of it, but we could all talk about our campaign and how did you do this and how did you do that. And I had several women, there were 40 of us new in my class. And several women came up to me and asked me this question on their own separately. Jason, so who recruited you to run? And I said, me? No one recruited me. I just wanted to run, so I ran. But the majority, if not the super majority of women, had to be recruited. There were very few who said, I'm just going to run. And so that's one of the differences between women and men. Again, it's not ubiquitous, but it's pretty dominant. And I also remember talking to, as I was serving, there was another representative, and she and I had dinner together, and she said that she was thinking about running for leadership in the House of Representatives. And then she said, quote, but I don't know if I'm qualified. And I said to her, that statement, I don't know if I'm qualified, is something that's frequently said by no man ever. I don't know any men who would say something like that. They would say, oh, I'll learn about it, or fake it till I make it. But after we had that conversation, she decided to run and she won, and she served in leadership. And this phenomenon of women not feeling like they're ready or have permission to run, I also see in my business. I also see this in my executive coaching work. I work with executive directors, with CEOs, with emerging leaders at nonprofits, government agencies, and businesses. And that often comes up. And some people say that it's about imposter syndrome. So for those of you who are familiar with that term, it's just someone who just feels like I don't really belong in this position. I also ran a 6-month CEO circle through Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility. And there were 21 CEOs or executive directors in that group. And out of the 21, guess how many felt imposter syndrome? 20. Practically everyone feels it. So it's not that part that's unique to women, but there is an extra dose of feeling that they have to be extraordinarily qualified to seek a new position, including running for office. And they feel like they have to know all the answers, that they have to be completely prepared, and again, get permission from whoever that is. It's good. It's good to feel qualified, and probably there's a lot of people who are running that shouldn't be running, that should be asking those, am I really the most qualified, and do I know enough to be a good representative, or select person, or justice of the peace, or whatever you're running for. But it's also helpful to just be aware if that's something that's in your thought process, you may want to challenge that. That's why Emerge is so important, because it gives women the training that they crave. And it helps them in their campaigns. But I think one of the biggest pieces of good that Emerge does is it supports women. And it's not just about knowing how to run a campaign or what to do, but to believe in yourself and to go for it. So I'm looking forward to this class, and I getting to work with you some more. And thank you, Elaine, and for all of you who are a part of supporting Emerge.
Jason, thank you so much. And thank you so much for your work in supporting and strengthening women leaders everywhere, but especially for your work with us at Emerge Vermont. We're so grateful. Thanks for being here tonight.
You bet.
We're going to hear from two more candidates. And these two candidates are doing something that requires a lot of bravery and strength. They have run before and they have lost before, but now they are stepping up again for election to governing bodies in some of Vermont's largest municipalities. The first candidate is Ellie Beckett, who is running for a seat on the Williston Select Board. And the good news is this time she's uncontested.
Hi, I'm Ellie Beckett, and I'm running for a 3-year seat on the Williston Select Board. I'm also an Emerge Class of 2022 alum. I'm running to continue my service to the town of Williston and pay back the gifts that this community has given me and my family. I'm running to bring a new energy and a fresh perspective to the Select Board. I want to serve. My mother's example of public service has shaped my life. She was town clerk for 20 years and a member of the Army National Guard. My own experiences growing up in Williston and being a young woman trying to build my life in town now have shown me that we must both keep Williston's historic identity and sense of community and manage the growth that will come. If elected, my priorities are the following. Housing. We need to support local regulations that meet the need to increase housing stock and variety, but don't overwhelm town resources and school capacity. Small business support. Now more than ever, we need to attract, retain, and assist small business owners will help make Williston a place where people want to be. And natural resource protection. Williston must protect its green space and undeveloped lands by continuing to focus growth in the growth center and by adequately funding the Environmental Reserve Fund, which has conserved over 3,000 acres since 1989. We can't stop the growth that's already occurring, and we shouldn't want to, but we can steer it to areas and forms that are improvements to the trends we see occurring today, and that maintain the character of the town we all love. Through intentional efforts at responsible management of growth, we may be able to succeed in this aim. I want to serve and I want to help address the emerging issues facing Willistonians and to work to find creative solutions. I've been interested in public service since high school. Everything I've done professionally since that point has been in pursuit of becoming a more equipped public servant. I want to work on complicated and thorny issues and problem solve and hopefully move the needle in a positive direction. So please vote for me, Ellie Beckett, to bring a new energy and fresh perspective to the Williston Select Board.
Thank you, Ellie. And if you couldn't tell, Ellie is a planning commissioner and she is not here this evening because there's a planning commission meeting, the life of an elected official. So thank you so much, Ellie, and best of luck on your campaign. Our next candidate is passionate about representation. The class of 2024 had a member named Lydia Diamond, and she is running for the 3rd time to be the first Black woman to serve on the South Burlington City Council.
Happy Black History Month. Say loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. My name is Lydia Diamond, and I'm running for South Burlington City Council, and I want to represent you. I want to shout out to the good representative of Good Trouble, John Lewis, who lived a life of sacrifice, and I want to salute him. I want to salute so many others, Sojourner, Harriet, Josephine Baker, so many Black people who have lived lives of sacrifice for the greater good, because America needs help. We have shown this country love in ways that hasn't been reciprocated. But I'm running because representation doesn't exist on the South Burlington City Council. I'm a tenant. I pay rent, and there's no representation for me. I'm also a disabled grandmother, and there's no representation for me. And I want to be embraced by the South Burlington City Council community of those who feel unseen and unheard. And I want to say happy Black History Month to Ketanji Brown Jackson. I want to say happy Black History Month to Jasmine Crockett, to AOC. I want to say y'all can't do nothing with us. We're going to continue to fight for the right to be celebrated, loved, and embraced. Let's make America do something good for a change. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lydia, and good luck on your historic campaign. I'm excited now to introduce our next speaker, who believes deeply in the power of local government. Sarah Copeland Hanzas was sworn in as Vermont's 39th Secretary of State in 2023. As Secretary, she oversees a team of dedicated public servants who are the custodians of government records, license over 50 occupations and professions, oversee the state's elections, help businesses register with the state, ensure transparency and open government, and assist cities and towns with governing and compliance. Secretary Copeland Hanzas has been an educator, a youth coach, a small business owner, and a state legislator for 18 years, including serving as majority leader and chair of the House Government Operations Committee. Prior to her first campaign for her current office, she became a member of the Emerge class of 2022. Secretary Copeland Hanzas has brought a renewed focus on civic education and engagement to her office, ensuring our elections are fair, safe, and accessible to all Vermonters. Her goal is to help Vermonters understand how to ensure that government does for us what we can't accomplish as individuals. Welcome, Madam Secretary.
Thank you so much, Elaine, for that wonderful welcome. And it's so nice to see so many familiar faces around the room. It's great to be here with you tonight and to be working to celebrate all of these candidates for local offices in your towns and cities across Vermont. I am very excited to be here because the work that you all are doing is going to be critical in the years to come. Let's just take a step back and look at where we are as a country and how we're feeling about the uncertainty in what's happening in our federal government. And right now, you are stepping up to lead in your communities, and you are uniquely positioned to lead in a way that helps your community understand how government works, how to access government. And you are stepping up in a time when it is so desperately needed for people to see leaders who are listening, who are collaborative, who are taking in ideas and suggestions from all of your neighbors. It's a really exciting time to be jumping into municipal government. And so I want to say thank you. The work of our municipal governments tends to go fairly unnoticed, and that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So I just want to point out a few of the details as I've seen them over the years as a state legislator and as a small business owner, and interacting a lot now with municipal government. You are in a position where you will be asked in line at the grocery store or on the sideline of a ball game that your child is playing in about what's happening in your local government. And I think that women, and particularly women who are Emerge trained, are so well equipped to do that work and to do that work well, because what our neighbors need to see, what Vermonters need to see, what Americans need to see, is they need to see a government that is approachable and accessible and transparent. And you have the opportunity to do that in your own communities. And I'm so thankful for you being willing to step up and run for these positions. And I wish you all the luck. I want to talk a little bit about the reason that I think women are uniquely qualified to fill these positions. And I'm saying this knowing that statistically speaking, and Elaine and I have talked about this many times over the years, the vast majority of our local leaders at the municipal level tend to be male instead of female. And I think it's helpful for all of us to embrace a little bit about what is wonderful and unique about women leaders, because many of us didn't grow up with examples of women leaders running their municipality or representing them in the legislature. Over the years, Jason mentioned that he and I came into the legislature together back in, we were elected in 2004 and sworn in 2005. It was very much still a boys' club. And most of the committee chairs were men, and most of the caucus leadership were men, and most of the chamber leadership, the pro tem and the Speaker of the House, were traditionally and typically men. And we saw that transition over that first decade or so in the legislature, where we are now at the point where the majority of leaders in our Vermont legislature are women. And the change that I've seen in how work is accomplished and how conflict is dealt with and how really difficult policy issues and really difficult politics are tackled in an environment that is more equally balanced between men and women in leadership positions has really improved the quality of the work that happens. And so I'm hoping that you all produce that sort of change in your communities, and that you're not the only woman on your select board or your city council, and that eventually we do have equity or even balance in the other direction. Because when women leaders come together, and you may have some conflict, maybe one person believes it needs to be this way and another person believes it needs to be that way. Women leaders will sit down together and they will look for the ways that each of them can get a win out of that situation. It's not, I'm going to get what I want and you're going to lose. It is, how can I understand what you need out of this situation? And how can we make sure that we both win in the end? And I want to celebrate that, because I think it is such a beautiful and inspiring thing to watch happen when you see a group of people who you think might be at odds with each other, but because they have women in those leadership circles, because you have women as a part of those negotiating teams, you see that more collaborative approach. And it's really enlightening. It's really inspiring to see that happen. And so I want and wish and hope for you all that you will see that in your community when you are elected, and that you will continue to maintain that mode, because we live in a democracy that many people look at and think is completely dysfunctional. And we're living in a moment in time when a lot of examples of that dysfunction, in fact, I get New York Times alerts so many times a day that I sometimes have to mute my phone because I can't stand to see it rolling out moment after moment. We need, Vermonters need to see functional leadership. They need to see a democracy in action where they know that the work that we're doing is to try to solve those problems that no one of us could solve on our own. And it is so inspiring to see a group of new leaders stepping up to diving in and getting this Emerge training and building this network of other women who are going to be doing the same types of work in the same positions, and we can learn from each other and share ideas with each other. Because I know from having seen it firsthand that when women are a part of those leadership circles, the decisions that are made are more inclusive of the whole community, and the decisions are more satisfying to the citizens because they have felt like they've been seen and heard and included in the process. So, not to be too overly dramatic, but you all are standing in a moment in time when you can uplift democracy, and you can make public service something that is good and valuable and recognized in your community. And I just want to thank you all for being willing to step up and do that, because right now, the future of our country depends on people being able to see examples of government that works. And I know that when you get there and when you are part of the decision making, we are going to see governments that work for the people. So thank you so much for your service. Thank you for the bravery that it took for you to step up and run or run again. We are right there cheering with you, and don't hesitate to reach out if you ever need something from the Secretary of State's office. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you so much, Secretary Copeland Hanzas, not just for your leadership and your hard work defending our democracy, but for being such a fantastic role model for other women who want to serve in office. We thank you so much for being here this evening. So our last 3 local candidates are incumbents, and each of them are running for a second term. Our first is Izzy Gogarty, who is a member of the class of 2023 and was elected to be class representative. And she is running again for her seat on the Middlebury Select Board. Welcome, Izzy.
Thanks, Elaine, and thanks, Men for Emerge Vermont, for sponsoring this great event. This is my second time coming to this event, and as Elaine said, I'm Izzy Gogarty, she, her, class of 23, running for re-election for Middlebury Select Board. I've had a great time. Let's keep it going. And over these past 3 years, I've learned so much about a really well and effective town staff that I have a true, tremendous, congratulations for. We have been able to work on 3 major projects that I want to highlight tonight. On top of working collaboratively with the town staff and being able to communicate out what an amazing job the town staff does and offers to the community, we've also been able to solidify and obtain some really great funds and subsidies for 3 big projects. The first one being a library expansion, which I love. I now work remotely, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, but I spend a lot of time at the library. I volunteer a lot at teen programs, and having a library that can act as a third place for a lot of people, providing internet access, a safe, warm place, and also a place for parents, caregivers to connect with each other and have their kids connect with each other is really important to me. The second is developing a wonderful partnership with Summit Housing, and that is to develop 281 units of housing in walking distance of the Middlebury downtown. So I was so grateful to be able to collaborate with town staff to solidify those grants and solidify that private-public partnership that is helping that housing development come up in spring of 2026. And the next is something that was actually really difficult to work on, but I was able to utilize my industry knowledge as a community health educator to put a service first and collaborative encampment policy in place in Middlebury. So this long-standing policy of how are we going to work with people who are experiencing houselessness in our community and connect them with service providers. So bringing all the relevant people to the table and being a part of the policy committee is one of my secondary policies. So as I said earlier, I joined the select board 3 years ago. I served as one of the community health educators at the middle school. It was a job that I really loved. I loved working with teens, but newly that I'll be presenting the people at town meeting that maybe don't follow me on social media, and maybe to you all, but I have a new job at the Vermont Chamber of Commerce. I am like an event planner for them, and that has just allowed me to really grow my community. I'll be planning one of the first ever Vermont Civics Bees. So this is a way for me to stay connected with the Secretary of State's office, stay connected to the youth of our community, and be able to also provide a perspective of small businesses. So with my industry knowledge as a health educator and also this connection to small businesses, I now can bring connection and community to even more pockets of Middlebury in this next term. So like I said, I've loved serving on the board. I bring a perspective being significantly younger than most of the people on the board, and also now one of 2 women on the board. So I'm excited to keep it going, and congratulations to anyone who is running for their first time. You guys are going to do great. And if anyone wants to connect with me, people who are interested in donating, or people who are candidates and looking to connect and share perspective, I'll put my email in the chat. But thanks again for coming. Thanks again for supporting new and incumbent candidates. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Izzy. Thank you for your leadership and best of luck in your campaign. Our next candidate is Dr. Palin Cohn. She is also an alum of the class of 2023, and she is an incumbent running for re-election to the Montpelier City Council. Welcome, Palin.
Thank you, Elaine. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight and listening to me. I like talking, so here I am. So I became an appointee at the Montpelier City Council in December 2022. Then I ran for my first term in 2023, and now I am running for a re-election. So as an immigrant woman, who moved to Montpelier in 2017 and became one of the really good resident to give back to her community. My first plan wasn't like serving on the city council. Honestly, when I moved here, I didn't know that much about American political system, but when I start studying for my citizenship exam, oh my gosh, so many things to learn. Then I attend the Emerge program. Then I became just like more aware that I knew that being a woman in every country is so difficult, but here too. So I was coming here, yeah, all the like American dream and everything, right? But wait a minute, as a woman, I need to work here too and work hard. And like Madam Secretary said, yes, we serve and we work for people. And when I first became a city councilor, city manager said to all of us, all the new ones, oh, you will spend like 10 or 15 hours in a month. That's maybe on the paper, right? But I put all my hours, and also I put my heart. I really put my heart, this vision and mission, and my all idea is how I can make and how I can contribute to make Montpelier more inclusive. Because being an immigrant sometimes makes you feel that you cannot find anyone to support you. You are some kind of in a corner and you don't know how to approach people. That's why I try to make myself approachable. And I am very happy to say that after 2 years, now all the Montpelier residents from different districts, not only from my district, they email me, call me. I have coffee with them, and my husband says, oh, I know why you are doing this, because you want more friends. That's why you are running for the office. I said, yeah, honey, yes, right. So another thing is I really want to do it in addition to being approachable and creating more inclusive Montpelier. I want to bring youth voice to the local decision making process, and I'm very lucky because when I have this idea, I talk to Elaine, I talk to Madam Secretary, I talk my cohort members, and last summer, City Council of Montpelier approved to have a first youth committee. as one of our public committees. Now we have 5 students, 4 from high school, 1 from middle school. And I just talked to 4 middle school girls who are interested applying for the youth committee like last week. And like seeing all this youth working with us, and just like they know that they can change the future where they will live. Not adults being at the city council, sitting there and talking about future projects, but all the old people are deciding for the future of youth. Now they have a voice. And I also started monthly listening session for my district. And every month, since my first term, we meet and I listen to them with my fellow district to city councilor, and we create action plan based on their concerns and feedback. And some people ask me, why are you running again? I don't know. This is something when you do, suddenly you want to do more. I don't know how to explain it, but I believe that yes, women need to be there for, and I hope women like me, like immigrant BIPOC women, have a courage to be there and to use their voice to create an impact. And I'm really so grateful to Emerge, my cohort members, Elaine, because they allow me to find that voice inside me. Now I can share with all the people around me. So thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Palin, for working so hard on behalf of your community. Best of luck to you in your campaign. Our last candidate of the evening is class of 2024 alum Kiana McClure, who is running for re-election to the Rutland City Board of Aldermen. But the Board of Aldermen is meeting literally right now. So Kiana has sent us a video of her speech.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kiana McClure, and I am proud to say that I am a candidate on the ballot here in Rutland City for the Board of Aldermen this year on town meeting day. What's really interesting about this race is this is actually my re-election campaign. I was elected in 2023 at age 23, and I am now running for re-election at age 25 in 2025. I am so excited to use the skills that Emerge has taught me over the last year to be able to run for office again. I'm actually going to be making history in Rutland City, as I am the youngest person to ever run a re-election campaign in our community. But there's still so much more that we can do and so much that needs to be done. I have been so proud to be a part of our local government and help uplift small businesses through things like our Business Incentive Assistance Program, which is an awesome program through our City Hall to help provide forgivable loans and grants to small businesses looking to expand or open their doors for the very first time within our community. I'm also very proud to say that I had a seat at the table and was able to help create Rutland City's very first tax increment financing district to help alleviate the burden on taxpayers while encouraging development within our community. I have also had the immense privilege of serving with the Rutland City Police on an initiative called Project Vision. It is a nonviolent community policing organization that exists to help kind of fill in the gaps where people may not necessarily feel traditional policing is appropriate. That helps with mental health crises, helps with domestic disputes, and we've done so much work to help the unhoused population within Rutland City. On the subject of housing, I have worked long and hard with housers in our region to help encourage initiatives to help increase development in our community. There is not a single person in Rutland City that should be going unhoused. And I am determined to spend the next 2 years working hard to help decrease the numbers of homelessness in our community. I am also incredibly proud to be the only renter, as far as I'm aware, on the Rutland City Board of Aldermen. And I'm advocating at the city level for tenants across the city in a city that is filled with apartments. And yet there has been very little representation for young people, for tenants on this board. I am so incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be here with you all this evening and to be able to participate in this Emerge Candidate Spotlight, because there is so much to do, there's so much to say. And this is the next wave of people who will be doing and saying and participating within our communities. I am so proud of all of you, and I'm so proud of the work that my board has done. And I know that we will all uplift our communities, enrich the lives of our neighbors, and help create good and do good things. I cannot say enough how grateful I am. I cannot begin to express my gratitude at the end of every day, at the beginning of every meeting, for the people like you, the people like us, who are taking up the mantle, choosing to take on the responsibility of public service. I am so, so incredibly proud of the work that we have done, but there is still so much more that we can do. With a focus on municipal infrastructure, with the focus on increasing the accessibility of our municipal structure, there is an incredible gap in what is needed and what we have. And I am proud, as I'm sure many of you are, to be able to say that I am part of making this change to make things better. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much to Elaine. You can see my campaign signs here and here, and you can actually check out my Give Butter donation link here if anyone has any questions and wants to get to know me a little bit more. Thank you all so much, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much, Kiana. That was awesome. She learned all the tricks. That's what Emerge Vermont does. Thank you, Kiana, for your service, and best of luck in your campaign. What a wonderful evening of inspiring women leaders. Let's give them all a round of applause. We're so proud of them and so excited for their campaigns. I also want to give a shout out to several more alums who couldn't be with us tonight, but who are on the town meeting ballot. That's Laura Williams, running for the South Burlington School Board, Laura Taylor, the Essex Westford School District Board, Tanya Biker, Cornwall Select Board, Joe Sable Courtney, Stowe Select Board, Mary Airdye, Hartford Select Board, Nakuma Palzewski, Maple Run School District Board, Christina Cheyenne, Brattleboro Select Board, DeForest Bierce, Weatherfields Select Board, and Edie Edwards, Halifax Select Board. Good luck, everybody, and thank you for stepping up. Thank you, Jason Lorber and Secretary of State Copeland Hanzas, for speaking tonight and your wonderful support of women running for office. I'd also like to thank our sponsors for this evening, many of whom are members of Men for Emerge Vermont, including Senator Peter Welch, Michael DeSanto, Stephen Kiernan, Jason Lorber, Ernie Pomerleau, Greg Vogt, Treasurer Mike Pichak, Nikhil Goyal, Bruce Olson, John Reed, Adam Roof, Brian Sheldon, Attorney General Charity Clark, Representative Sean Sweeney, Tim German, and Joan Lennis. Thank you most of all to our candidates. Very best of luck as you head into the final weeks before town meeting day, and thank you for stepping up. You got this. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening and supporting these amazing candidates. If you enjoyed seeing these folks and the impact of Emerge Vermont's work on women's representation in government, please consider making a donation to support our work at the link in the chat. And if you're thinking about running for office in the future, please visit emergevermontvt.org and learn about our training. So thank you everyone again for being here. Have a wonderful evening and happy town meeting day.